I think it was Sir Wilfrid Thesiger said, if you really want to understand people and you want to be more than I think he called it a traveler. You know what I mean? It was this realization that you had to be able to speak to people, and it didn't matter the color of your skin, didn't matter where you came from. Is that once you were able to have those languages and that ability to do that in a way that most people don't, it changes everything. And that, obviously stayed with me. And as I say, I learned it so well that I spent most of my, formative years in and out of Africa. It became just not only a hobby and a way of life, but it became everything for me. There's nothing I do that doesn't have that African component in it.
But this is a photograph, by the way, of the 26 crew that went in. This is a photograph of the 6, including Greeley, who survived. And we have things like Greeley's had this little Bible with him all the time, and it's creased open to the rites of the dead because he was doing it
so
all
often
the time. Wow. Yeah, so just the misery that they went through in order to bring back this scientific data was astounding.
Incredible.
Well, in fact, there you can see a photograph. There's the photograph of the tent that is really just like this one right here in the painting.
That is amazing.
Talk about getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just miserable. Just miserable.
I mean, this was the early days, whether it was Africa, the Arctic, etc. These were difficult undertakings. Grew up in Southern California, had a great, life as a child. My grandfather was a geologist, so had the pleasure of, being around incredible, uncles and grandfather, father that everyone loved the outdoors. So I have 2 older brothers, so we spent most of our days, like any child, running around, but we had an incredible place. We had the Mojave Desert. We had, Newport Beach. We had, Huntington Beach. He sort of found out what was it you liked, whether it was the desert, whether it was Alaska. Well, my love was already at that point Africa. So he had an incredible library, all the great books. So I learned about the Royal Geographical Society, Livingston, Stanley, Burton, all these great explorations that I wanted to go on when I, got older. And so I went to Africa the first time when I was 9 years old. Along the way in Kenya, I met Sir Wilfrid Thesiger, met the photographer Peter Baird. So that sort of catapulted all these things. So Africa has it all. It has the wildlife, has the landscape, and it has the people. I have friends out there that, 16, 20, 30 years that I've known, and it's always like going back and seeing family. So for me, that'll never change. So a number of years ago, when I was in Papua New Guinea, we noticed that, hey, wouldn't it be cool? And it wasn't just Papua New Guinea, it was other places like the Tana River in Kenya, the Rufiji River, places where there's inlet, outlet, there's a way to go upriver, there's a way to go upstream, etc. And we always thought, wouldn't it be cool, instead of a tented camp here or taking vehicles, wouldn't it be awesome to have a vessel? A platform that we could work from and do all these cool things. So in 2018, my partner and I purchased the first vessel, which was 6711. And that really opened windows for us. I really wasn't much of a maritime guy before that. My whole experiences had been, Asia, Middle East, Africa, but land-based. And so a lot of, kayaking, canoeing, things like that, but never really from platforms like a support yacht. Didn't even know what a support yacht was until we started looking into it. So we purchased the first one from which was a Damen. It was exciting now to have this platform. You could sleep on it, you could fly off of it, and you can move it. So we never viewed it as a yacht, in terms of, white yacht, if you will. For us, it was a platform. It was a place to do all the incredible things that we wanted to do. And you're not beholden to a schedule. It's what you want to do and the schedule that you set up, and that's why it became such an incredible platform. So the new one that we're creating now, which is a purpose-built YS53, it's hull number 2, and it's an amazing platform. We've been able to put the staterooms into it, the dive shop, the things that we wanted that may have been lacking last time or were too big. And it still doesn't have, berths for, 20 people, but now we can put 6, 7 couples on, and it really makes a big difference. So that we can move people around, we can bring on researchers, and then more importantly, we can spend time on it, the kind of time that we want to. So we'll have some incredible tools on there. Icon A5, the small aircrafts, the Triton 3300 Pro that we're developing a new system and a new piece with Triton Submarines with Patrick Leahy's group. So that's going to be an amazing, tool that we have. Then we've got Nova Marine ribs. We're working with Voltari on some electric boats. But the platform itself, again, allows us to do things that we couldn't do otherwise. So when we created this new platform, around it is something we're calling the Voyage of Advancement. So over the next 3-4 years, we're going to be moving around Mediterranean, Atlantic, Indian Ocean, around the Middle East, and then pushing out to, along the coast of Africa, and then back over to Asia. And so we'll wind up South China Sea, Papua New Guinea. It's a 4-year program that's going to contain a lot of very interesting things for us. And obviously we're not going to let it all out, but slowly, as you know, we'll be releasing these things as we start to gather momentum. So, one of the things when you look at these indigenous communities, young people that really would not have the opportunity to do some of the things that we do if we didn't bring them on board. And that's where we're sitting right now. The Explorers Club has been phenomenal at bringing young people in of all ages, all groups, all walks of life, etc. And that's what makes this incredible. So for me, it's about bringing people into the fold and bringing young people in a way that they may not be able to if, it wasn't for the philanthropic side of the endeavors that we're undertaking. And this is why it's so important for young people to get involved in exploration and be around this, because they see all of these incredible things that have taken place here. And you say to yourself at some point, whether you're 12, 13, I can do that. You know what I mean? And that changes lives. And that's why it's so important for all of us to get out of our comfort zones, and experience things that we otherwise wouldn't experience.